Thank you everyone for tuning in to today's Words of Wisdom. Today's was sent out on June 24th, and I quote, "The three attitudes of being open-minded, making self-help efforts, and being humble are necessary in order to advance toward God or Buddha. So you may consider any thoughts that go against these attitudes obstruct to right thought." From the Eightfold Path by Master Okawa. Thank you, Lord God. All right, so this is the chapter about right thought, the second step of the Eightfold Path. So in order to think rightly, Master is teaching us that we need to have these three sorts of attitudes. You have to be open-minded, make self-help efforts, and being humble. So then, what makes you further away from right thought is having three attitudes of the opposite of these, right? So it's like, if you're closed-minded, if you're lazy, and if you're cocky, you're not going to have the right view. Right thoughts. All right? So it's important for us to be careful of being closed-minded, being lazy, and being cocky. All right, so first one, being closed-minded. That makes sense, right? Being closed-minded means you're very narrow-minded, so you only adopt your own way of thinking, your own view of things, and you're not a good listener to criticisms or advices. You would rather stick to your own perspective. Or it could also mean intolerance. So you only accept one sort of way of thinking or one framework of thinking, and you judge and criticize other ways of thinking, even before contemplating where those thoughts are coming from and why that is also valued, or things like that. Second one, making self-help efforts. So the opposite of this is being lazy. Or other than that, being lazy is giving up on changing yourself, is my own kind of definition of being lazy. So in other words, self-help for me is having the attitude of always changing yourself, having the attitude of always developing yourself. That would equate to self-help efforts in my perspective, and I believe it is a good way of thinking when we discipline ourselves. So have you give up on wanting to change yourself or improve yourself? If you have that kind of tendency, of course, a right thought will now be formed. And lastly, being cocky. Yeah, this is a given, right? If you're cocky, it means if you are arrogant. If you have high pride, of course you won't be able to have right thoughts. It goes back to, in a way, it's the same as being closed-minded, but it's kind of even worse than closed-minded, because you believe that your values are better than other people, so you will force that value onto other people. So that's also a way to generate a wrong thought instead of a right thought. And this is interesting. I've never heard Master Okawa talk about right thought in this angle. I think this is the only Kyoten he's talked about it. So yeah, the true Eightfold Path, Master has taught us in the Laws of the Sun, it's the path to human perfection, and it is the treasure for humanity. So every year, let's try to deepen our power to reflect on ourselves using the Eightfold Path, and this Kyoten would be a great start. That'll be it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.